commercial, and then simple internet email also plays a big role in online journalism. So, what are the distinguishing characteristics of online journalism as compared to traditional journalism? See, online is real time, right? Online journalism can be published in real time, and it's updating breaking news and events as they happen. So nothing new here. We have had this ability with telegraph, teletype radio and television also. But just as we gather around the TV or radio, so we can gather and attend real-time events online in chat rooms and auditorium facilities. Okay, and online journalism also takes advantage of shifted time. Like online publications can publish and archive articles for viewing now and later. Just as print or film or broadcast publications can, the World Wide Web www articles can be infinitely easier to access, of course. Then online journalism can include multimedia elements like text and graphics, newspapers and books, plus sound, music, motion, video, and animation, 3D, etc. So all these are elements of online journalism. Then you know online journalism is also interactive. The hyperlinks represent the primary mechanism for this interactivity on the web. Linking the various elements of a lengthy, complex work, introducing multiple points of view, and adding depth and detail. See, for example, a work of online journalism can consist of an hyperlinked set of web pages, and these pages can themselves include hyperlinks to other websites. See, and traditional journalism, guides the reader through a linear narrative, and the online journalists for example, readers, it lets the readers become participants as they click their way through a hyperlinked set of pages. Narrative momentum and and a strong editorial voice pull a reader through a linear narrative. That means it's interactive, right? And with interactivity, the online journalist can predetermine to a certain extent the reader participants progress through the material. But manifold navigation pathways and branching options and hyperlinks encourage the reader or the participant to continue to explore various narrative threads, which is assembled by the reporter or the writer or editor. Okay. So, and readers or the participants can respond instantly to material presented by the online journalist. They can provide their feedback. Okay, they can provide suggestions, and this response can take several forms. For example, email to the reporter or editor, resembles the traditional letter to editor or of print publications. So, in newspapers, we have this something called as letter to editor, where you can provide, the feedback. And so, in such a such things are integrated through email letters can be published much sooner online than in print, because we have direct link where we can post our feedback. And online journalists can also take advantage of threaded discussions that let readers respond immediately to an article and to the comments of other readers in a bulletin board style discussion that can be accessed at any time, and readers can become participants in the ongoing co-creation of an editorial environment that involves from the online journalist's original reporting and the initial article. For example, blogs or web-based journals make this easy. And how has the internet affected the print journalism? The internet is a time-saving research resource for journalists and editors now, especially for reporters looking for background. And if they care to dig and look, you also see a lot of articles, columns, syndicated features now about the internet in print and broadcast publications, right? So what influences do journalists have on their audiences in comparison to mass media journalists? See, while audiences for online journalism remain smaller than the audiences for mass media journalism, online journalists have the same influence of their audiences that mass media journalists have. By choosing which stories to report, by choosing which facts, quotes, and other story elements to include, and which to exclude, and by choosing to tell the story from a particular point of view as well. And the web's interactivity and hyperlinking gives the journalist more opportunities to examine multiple points of view in a particular piece than traditional analog media. Okay, so the lagging behind or the lack of serious space limitations permits online journalists to develop a story more fully and to publish source documents and background material. That means, see, for example, in a print publication in a newspaper, we have limited space. We can't that limited space. We have to tell the story. We have to convey our message. But you know, uh, apart from that, online journalists, have an opportunity, to fully develop a story and publish with source and with background material as well, because we don't have any space constraint. So, why do you think do you think will these online journalism lead to the demise of some traditional publications? See, perhaps some web publications will do a better job of creating profitable relationships with customers than print publications, especially those that do a good job of identifying audiences who are on the web. Then print publications may lose customers to web publications if they don't find ways to deliver news and information. Okay, and also services to those web savvy customers in print as well as on the web. And how reliable is online information? See, it's a mixed bag, right? And should be treated as the same way that professional journalists treat any other information that they find in the course of reporting a story. Good, reliable editing and filtering of information, becomes ever more important on the web. Where anybody can publish anything and make it look substantial. So editorial branding becomes crucial here. And what is the future of online journalism? The traditional news gathering organizations like publishers and broadcasters will continue to enlarge their efforts on the web. And this big money journalism, will take the advantage of higher internet bandwidth and new technologies, like, for example, streaming audio and video, to recreate the traditional broadcast approach on the web. So, blogs have also become a popular venue for ordinary people to engage, in online journalism. Meanwhile, both within those big organizations and outside them, journalists will continue to experiment and discover how best to use the native capabilities of the web, like hyperlinks, interactivity, personalization, community threaded discussions, etc. To create new and hybrid editorial environments in which readers become co-creators along with the journalists, of course, and bringing their responses, questions, experience to add to the story threads and that the professional journalist launches. Right. So, how can you develop a career as an online journalist? See, you can help yourself by learning the basics of journalism. Find and read the books that are currently used in beginning journalism courses. To learn about the basic kinds of articles that journalists produce and the techniques they use to produce them. And online journalists may also want to learn a few web basics, how to use the internet for research. Okay, you'll want to learn how to do library research too. Plus basic investigative and reporting techniques. Okay, basic HTML coding to produce web pages, then digital audio and video production, and related web programming techniques if you want to add multimedia elements to your online journalism works. Okay, and then obviously you need to develop good basic writing skills, and that is a fundamental skill you need. And the best way to do this is to practice writing the kinds of articles you like, and find an editor or somebody with appropriate editorial skills to give you feedback and show you how to improve your articles. Okay, I also suggest that you learn about the history of journalism in order to appreciate the power and privileges that journalists enjoy. And I strongly recommend that you read classic journalistic works, to get a deep understanding of what journalists have done. So once you have developed an understanding of journalism practice and a basic, repertoire of skills, it's time to start work. And here's the process I recommend you. See, for example, first, choose the subject material and type of articles like feature or news or interview, etc. A journalism textbook, will show you all the basic types you want to write. Then next would be to find publications, that publish the kinds of articles, you want to write, like type, and identify the type and subject matter. Then next would be to write some sample articles that you think will fit into this publication's profile. Then create a professional looking website of your own, where you can publish your sample articles. And it's very easy to do this, with a blog or a web based journal. Or if you're lacking web design and coding skills, then once you located publications that publish the kind of articles you want to write, then you can, identify the editor or responsible for assigning articles to freelance writers. Then send a letter to this editor, introducing yourself and asking if he or she would be interested in giving you story assignments to work on. You can contact the editors either by telephone, email, or and propose specific story ideas, suggesting articles that you would like to write. Send along copies of your sample articles and provide the URL of your website, where the editor can see your work published on the web. Then continue to find other publications that may be interested in the articles you want to write. Then identify the editors who assign freelance work and contact them to see if they'll give you a chance. At the same time, continue to research and write articles that you can publish in your website. You'll be sharpening your journalistic skills while developing a body of work that will demonstrate what you can do. Okay, so who is online journalist? This means that reporters who are used to fitting stories into a limited amount of space now, must adjust to the idea of unlimited space. Okay. So when you give the whole text of a press conference, this is very popular. Hundreds of people want to say it. This is something that was completely impossible up until now. But this is made possible because of online journalism. Space restrictions are more, acute online than in hard copy. So you're limited by the size of your monitor here. But how long are you willing to keep reading online? And how many screen loads go by before you get tired? So, for example, if someone says that I am more used to reading longer articles than most people, but when I get into a long article, I often hit the print button and take it to the bathroom or something, because people, like reading print materials. So there we have some space is a more severe, restriction online. And there is unlimited, as there is an unlimited amount of space online, the news hole, which means the blank space in a newspaper that you fit around the ads, is limited in hard copy. But online it just takes up room on the server. You're not using paper here. Okay, it's unlimited, the space is unlimited. And a new media is the combination of two. You can offer unlimited supporting documents for your story, but the writing itself must be more compact, because you don't need to include background information. You can link to it, okay, directly. You can copy paste the URL there, which takes you to the background of the story. Okay, so these are the features of online journalism. Okay, any doubt? Okay, let me share a PPT. Before that, what do you understand by multimedia? Multimedia, is a form of communication that allows, the combination that uses a combination of different content forms, such as text, audio, images, animations, or video into a single interactive present, form or a presentation. In contrast to traditional mass media, such as print material or audio recordings, which used to feature very little to no interaction between users. But because of multimedia approach, this has become possible. It is, in short, it's multimedia is, using more than one medium of expression or communication, or the use of a variety of artistic or communicative media. This is known as multimedia. Okay, so let's discuss about digital formats. What are the formats used in digital media? Okay, are you able to see the screen, to see the PPT? Okay, I think there is some problem. Okay, no problem, no issues. So coming to image file size. So image file size is expressed, as the number of bytes, which increases with the number of pixels composing an image and the color depth of the pixels. So we discussed earlier about what are the bytes, pixels, and other terms, right? So image file size is one of those, and the greater the number of rows and columns, the greater the image resolution, and the larger the file. Okay, and also each pixel of an image increases in size when its color depth increases. For example, see, an 8-bit pixel stores 256 colors. A 24-bit pixel or 3 bytes stores 16 million colors, which is known as the true color. And two types of image file compressions are lossless and lossy. These two are two types of image conversions. And there are some formats, basic formats of file size, image file, like jpeg, tiff, gif, bmp, raw, and png. So what is jpeg? Jpeg stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group, and the jpeg compression is at its best on photographs and paintings of realistic scenes with smooth variations of tone and color. And for web usage, where the bandwidth used by an image is popular, jpeg is very popular, type, and not as well suited for line drawings and other textual or iconic graphics. Such images are better saved in a lossless graphics format, such as tiff or gif or png. Okay, and it supports 8 bits per color, that is red, green, blue color, for a 24-bit total, producing relatively small files. Okay, then it is jpeg is not well suited to files that will undergo multiple edits. Okay, because there will be a generation loss if you perform multiple edits on jpeg files. And to avoid this, an image that has been modified or maybe modified in this, in the future, can be saved in a lossless format, such as png, or a copy exported as jpeg for distribution. Because if you keep on editing on the same file, it may lose its generation, and the original format will be lost. So next is tiff, that is, which stands for tagged image file format. and it is flexible, it's adaptable, and file format for handling images and data within a single file. It includes the header types like size or definition or image data arrangement, applied image compression, etc. It defining the image geometry and the availability to store image data in a lossless format makes TIFF file a useful image archive. Okay, then it comprises of 8 bits or 16 bits per color, like red, green, blue for 24-bit and 48-bit in total. Okay, it's not widely supported by web browsers actually, but it is widely accepted as a photograph or file standard in the printing business. Okay, and there are OCR software packages commonly generate some often some form of TIFF image for scanned text pages. So it's useful for scan images as well. Next is GIF, which stands for Graphics Interchange Format. It is limited to an 8-bit palette or 256 colors. It is suitable for storing graphics with relatively few colors, such as simple diagrams, shapes, logos, or cartoon style images. And it uses a lossless comparison that is more effective when large areas have a single color. And next is BMP. The BMP is nothing but Windows bitmap file format. It handles graphics files within the Microsoft Windows operating system. And BMP files are uncompressed, hence they are large. And the advantage is their simplicity and wide acceptance and use in Windows programs. Next is PNG, which stands for Portable Network Graphics File Format. It was created as the free open source successor to the GIF. Okay, and the PNG file format supports true color, which is 16 million colors, while the GIF supports only 256 colors. Okay, the PNG file excels, when the image has large, uniformly colored areas. And the lossless PNG format is best suited for editing pictures, and all contemporary web browsers now support all common uses of the PNG format and extension file format for the lossless portable, and it is also well compressed storage of for faster images. Okay, you can download in faster way. And then we have another one is raw format. It is minimally processed data from the image sensor of either a digital camera image or from a motion picture film scanner. And raw files are so named because they are not yet processed and therefore are not ready to be used within a bitmap graphics or editor, or it's not ready to be printed. It's a raw format. It needs to be processed. An image it is processed by a raw converter in a wide gamut internal color space, where precise adjustments can be made before conversion to a positive file format such as TIFF or JPEG, or storage printing or further manipulation, which often encodes the image in a device dependent color space, and sometimes called digital negatives, as they fulfill the same role as negatives in film photography. That is, the negative is not directly usable as an image but has all of the information needed to create an image. That is known as the raw format, which needs to be processed. Okay, understood? So next we'll be dealing with blogs. Okay, do you have any idea of blog? What is blog? See, a blog is a type of website of, it's a part of a website where blogs are usually maintained by an individual with regular, entries of commentary or a description of events or other materials such as graphics or videos. And entries are, commonly displayed, it is displayed in reverse chronological order. Okay, whatever you post on the blog will be displayed in a reverse chronological order. And blog can also be used as a verb meaning to maintain or add content to a blog, because and most of these blogs are very interactive, allowing visitors to leave comments and even message each other on the blogs, and it is this interactivity, that distinguishes them from other static websites. And many blogs provide commentary or news on a particular subject. Other functions as more personal online diaries. And a typical blog combines text, images, and links to other blogs as well, and web pages and other media related to its topic. And the ability of readers to leave comments in an interactive format is an important part of many blogs. And most blogs are primarily textual, and although some focus on art, for example art blogs or photographs, photo known as photo blog. We have videos, which is known as video blogging, and music, mp3 blog, and audio is of course podcasting. And microblogging is another type of blogging featuring very short posts. Okay. Then we have something known as personal blogs, where it's an ongoing diary or commentary by an individual. Is the it's the traditional use of most common blog, where personal bloggers usually take pride in their blog post, even if their blog is never read. Blogs often become more than a way to adjust, communicate, and they become a very way to reflect on a life or work of an art. Okay, blogging can have a sentimental quality. Few personal blogs rise to fame and mainstream, to the mainstream, and but some personal blogs quickly garner an extensive followers, because one type of personal blog referred uh, which we typically refer as a microblog, is extremely detailed, and it seeks to capture a moment in time. Some sites such as Twitter allow bloggers to share thoughts and feelings instantly, and with friends and family, it's much easier and faster than emailing or writing. Then apart from personal blogs, we have corporate and organizational blogs. uh, See, as you know, a blog can be private, but as in most cases, and we see we have private bloggers, but it can be also used for business purposes. Blogs used internally to enhance the communication and culture in a corporation, or externally for marketing, branding, or public relations purposes are called corporate blogs. So similar blogs for clubs and societies are called club blogs, group blogs, or by similar names. And typical use is to inform members and other interested parties or of club and member activities. Okay. So blogs are differentiated by genre. Some blogs focus on a particular subject, such as political blogs, travel blogs, such as it's also known as travel logs. We have house blogs, fashion blogs, project blogs, education blogs, niche blogs. Then we have classical music blogs, quizzing, and legal blogs, and or dream blogs. So these are different types of uh, genres of blogs, and art blogs and music blogs are very popular types of genre in the category of blogs. Okay. So see, blocks can be accessed by different types of devices. It can be defined which type of device is used to compose it. For example, a blog written by a mobile device like a mobile phone could be called a moblog. Okay, because a mobile phone is being used. Okay, and then when we have this something called as wearable wireless webcam blog. It's also where videos where a person's it's like a diary of a person's personal life, combining text, video, and pictures transmitted live from a wearable computer, and connected to a website, and iTab, which is nothing no, the webcam. Okay, it's connected to the website. So this practice of semi-automated blogging with live video together with text was to as journal referred to as this type of wearable wireless webcam. And such blogs have been used as evidence in legal matters as well. So these are the uh, power of these kind of blogs. So what are the advantages of blogs? Blogs are easy to create and maintain. To set up a blog, it can take as long as 10 minutes, and it involves just three simple steps. First is to choose your blogging software, then register your account and start blogging. And after creating a blog, all you're required to do is to provide as many as fresh content as you can on a regular basis. And then blogs are also search engine friendly, where your posts and pages are automatically, linked by blogs that are, and that enable search engine spiders, to find or index the blog with relevant keywords in your blog title, like meta tags and the URL pages. You could have used, you could have used your pages, okay, ranking. You can It can be used for your pages, to ranking higher in search engines. And then we have this advantage of, blogs attract more traffic for its fresh contents, because readers are attracted to blogs because of its fresh regular contents. And if as a blogger you are passionate about what you write about, and committed to providing fresh regular contents on it, then we have thousands of readers who are also passionate about the topic, will on a regular basis visit your blog. And you keep updating it regularly, with new contents. You will keep, the visitors attracted to your blogs. And blogs allows you to interact with your, consumer base. That means blogs allow you to interact with your customers and to get the feedback, since blog offers you the option of enabling a comment field to your post, where, readers can give you their feedback instantly. And then we have blogs, have built-in RSS feed, which is RSS means really simple syndicate. That means recent posts and deliver, them to various blog search engines. And when your readers subscribe to your RSS feed, it automatically delivers your recent post to their inbox. So this is RSS feed. Then we have different types of blog, like real estate blogs and all those things used, in business, for business purposes. So these are the, uses and advantages of blogs. Okay. Any doubts? So, coming on to the next topic, online technologies, journalism in cyber media. See, the present information age provides, for internet-based global network communication tools that have, altered the way people and organization communicate. And, reporting is increasingly becoming computer-aided, and online news gathering, has become a major form of journalistic activity. Okay. So the news media has taken to the internet in a big way, and, it began using it on a day-to-day basis to take advantage of its capability in, broad range of ways to gather and to disseminate information. And the digital revolution and the technologies that it has ushered along with it have, affected every sector of the communication and information industry. So both the broadcasting audiovisual media, that is radio and television, were influenced by it. So however, the greatest impact has been in the print industry or the written press. In the television sector, a qualitative improvement, both in pictures and sound became a, possibility thanks to data digitization and image compression techniques. These have, led to great increase in the quality of program feed. And the same technology in alliance with the internet has provided for interactive television, that is known as ITV. That has revolutionized the way people watch TV by enabling viewers to actually affect, what happens in the program. A good example is between the web and TV is the BBC's popular program World Have You Say. It's a very popular program on BBC, which allows all the audiences located across the globe to send their, videos on various issues under debate in real time to the BBC studios with the help of BBC's online website. Okay. And the interested audiences, they can, upload their clips to the website, which in turn will be aired by the BBC, okay, from the studios located in various parts of the world. And in the radio sector, broadcasters are now providing, high fidelity digital satellite programs. And we have this utilities like Microsoft Skype that use voice over, that is VoIP program, okay, which enables the audiences to engage in live conversations with the anchors in the studio through Skype. Okay. And in radio stations like, Voice of America in US have their own web presence which is helping them in diversifying the programs and improve listening comfort. So people no longer need a radio set to listen to the radio programs. Okay. And in the written sector, that is the print media, the online technology has had widespread repercussions as well on newspapers and magazines. It has led to computerization of editorial work and has you know and a voluntary impact on the techniques of journalism, and has also provided publishers with an opportunity to take part in the digital revolution by enabling them to provide online newspapers on the internet. We have these e-papers, all the newspapers are have gone online, and we have their internet edition of the newspapers online, that's known as e-newspapers. And print news medium has of course found the internet to be a way to further distribute the content of the newspaper and the newspaper's brand name as well as the advertising content which they sell. Okay. And again, one can visit the website of the newspaper and read the news using computers that are equipped with browsers like uh, we have a Internet Explorer and then Mozilla. On smartphones we have Google Chrome via the mobile application apps, and then through this we can access all the content which is available online for the newspapers. Okay. So what are the trends in online newsroom? See, we can appreciate the trends in online newsroom, by examining the way the World Wide Web is shaping today, it has also affected the online news production process. So the online production process, it involves the three specific players. They are, what are the players? They are the product. That's the product is nothing but the publication, online publication. We have the producer, that is a journalist, and the publisher. Okay. So what is a product or an online publication? Online publications are are characterized by interactivity, individualization, and convergence. Convergence in the sense where we have the intermission of all these text, audio, video, or graphics. Okay. And then interactivity is a totally audience related feature where it is essential element of any online news site. And the greatest advantage of interactivity is it helps in establishing direct contact with readers. This will facilitate correction of factual mistakes and provide access to sources. If there is any mistake, through the feedback, we will be able to, the journalists will be able to, rectify their mistakes, and which otherwise, would be too time consuming, to locate. And then interactivity can at times also result in new story ideas as well. Okay. Then coming to the producer, that is the journalist or the editor, producer of the content. Okay. So the online newsroom is undergoing a number of changes, including the introduction of through the introduction of IT or the new word processing editing tools, or the we can say the developing new software applications like Photoshop, etc. Which are enabling online journalists to produce quality content. See, online news can be uploaded in an instant. It's immediate and can be accessed by anyone anywhere. And since the story can be published online with or without sub editor or editor's approval, of course, and there is a round of sub editing, online journalists feel more powerful on the net, and that gatekeeper's role has changed because you don't need anyone's approval before posting a story. And however, with power comes responsibility, and online journalists need to understand this and should work with caution. The fact that they have social responsibility should also be at the back of their minds, and they should be very careful when posting information on the internet. And today's online journalist needs to be multi-skilled. See, beyond the basic writing, editing, and interviewing skills required, journalist needs to be, they have to be equipped with internet technology, markup languages also like HTML, XML, and photo manipulation softwares like Photoshop, and also they should require basic web skills. Journalistic, work demand all these types of skills. As this is the integration of all these different forms of media. So journalistic work practices are evolving, and the World Wide Web is slowly, gaining acceptance in the newsroom as well. And journalists are beginning to recognize the World Wide Web as a potential source of information. And see, before before printing in the newspapers, the stories are being uploaded on their websites, right? As in when they are breaking news, the breaking stories are being uploaded in the websites. Okay, so these are the so that's the reason the journalists should acquire all these skills. And searching skills also one of the basic skills required for an online journalist before producing an online content, and which has to be acquired and of course mastered upon. Then we have a publisher in the sense web, right? It's the content is being published on the website. So web is converting today's news publishers from the traditional role of delivering ink paper and ink information to the print, from the print to the digital. See, earlier it would have been very difficult to imagine the print media carrying the content of broadcasters years ago. But today it's common for newspapers to have an online spin-off with audio and video features, because there is no constraint in the space. The space is unlimited with these features of links and hyperlinks. Okay, with a view to develop and boost, and also they can uh, have their income and profitability through online advertisements, and they can also continue their role as information content providers. Okay, and then we have this interactivity element as well, where I told you the feedback is very instant. Okay, because of the convergence of all these new media technologies. We have something as information highway and cyber journalism. So information highway refers to the internet, bulletin board services or online services and other services, that enable people to obtain information from telecommunication network. So among them, the internet of course plays a major role. Okay, in cyber journalism, in fact, without the internet, cyber journalism is inconceivable. Internet is the main tool. Okay, so see, since if we look at the role and influence of internet on cyber journalism, since the mid 1990s, the internet in general and the World Wide Web in particular have had profound impact on journalism. Okay, giving rise to multifaceted debate, especially among newspapers. And the debate, can be reviewed by distinguishing it in three emerging patterns, which is internet can be termed as a publishing medium, internet empowering the journalists, and then we have internet effects on journalists professional role as well. So internet as a publishing medium has been the dominant thread in the debate of internet from the point of view of journalism. Okay, then we have this internet empowering the journalists. Internet can empower journalists in their work, because as it provides new tools for journalists to improve their skills. Okay, the journalistic skills can be improved, where the journalists can empower themselves by acquiring new skills. Okay, then we have multimedia trends in cyber journalism. So as the name implies, combination of different forms of media into a single entity is called as multimedia. And it can be defined as the media in which the data like the text, image and sound are merged with the main temporal data like voice and audio and video, by means of unifying the by combining all these things by the use of graphics and animation. So thus it lays emphasis on bringing together two different types of data. Okay, and multimedia revolution has been possible by three technologies, that is, as we discussed earlier, the HTML use of HTML, JavaScript. These are nothing but the programming languages. Okay, so multimedia is something, but we can say that it is a result of the convergence of several traditional industries, mainly computer science and communications, and the content industries such as the audiovisual publishing, sound recording, and media industries into one single entity. Okay, so gatekeeping. So what is gatekeeping? Gatekeeping is the process through which
It is to
information.
allow the, I mean, To the concerned message only to outside, no, ma'am. Avoiding the unnecessary messages.
Yes, the filtering of information, right?
Yes.
Yes, good. The gatekeeping is the process through which information is filtered for dissemination, whether for publication or broadcasting, or on the internet or some other mode of communication. So, in the academic theory of gatekeeping, it is found in multiple fields of studies, including we have in communication studies, journalism. We also have this gatekeeping process in political science and sociology as well. Okay. So it has several gatekeeping has several functions like surveillance, and then it is actually filtering of information, whether the information is important enough to disseminate. Okay. So how is gatekeeping and cyber media related? See, with the internet, the role of journalist as a gatekeeper and agenda setter is fast, diminishing with the net, and it is, user friendly now. With graphical users can now find anything they want online. Everything is online. So this gatekeeping, how can we say that this gatekeeping function still exists in social on cyber media? See, people, they don't need anyone to choose the kind of information that they don't have any gatekeeping process, that people are free to access any kind of information, and to gain access or to pick in or choose for them and tell them what is important and what's not, or interpret the news for them or digest the package the news for them. See, the original need for gatekeeping in journalism came into being because of the limited space or time for the broadcaster, right? Available in it was which was available in traditional media. So now online media such as the internet, have unlimited space. So this is also contributing for the diminishing role of gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is almost diminishing from the cyber media. Everything is free for to access because of the unlimited amount of information available online. And gatekeeping function is also influenced by the interactive nature of this medium. See, for instance, the it lets users specify their interests and receive updates about them in the, that is, we have something called a subscription. If you subscribe to a content, a website, you'll directly get the updates or newsletters in your mailbox. And other important aspect of interactivity is that online journalists, news decisions are influenced to a great extent by the feedback they receive from the audience. Based on that, the content has been developed. And in both these cases, the role of journalists, as a gatekeeper or agenda setter, is very limited, and it is driven by the preferences of the audience than the journalist. Okay. The what content is being produced is decided by the audience, the feedback of the audience. And all these things, are throwing up a new debate on the relevance of gatekeeping in cyber journalism. Okay. So any idea of web designing? You're clear about World Wide Web and its concepts, right? HTML, markup, the markup languages, programming languages.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. But this HTML, uh, that I'm not little bit clear, ma'am. This
Okay.
those are the languages, I think, no, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Yesterday we had a detailed discussion about this.
Okay. Yesterday I did not attend the class.
Okay, I'll explain you about that. I'll explain, okay, at the end of the
Oh,
class.
okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll explain at the end. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So any doubts in today's class, today's topics?
Nothing. Okay, ma'am.
You're clear about these concepts, right?
Yes, yes.
So, any idea of what is web designing? What is web designing?
No, ma'am. I don't have any.
Uh, See, as the name suggests, web designing, it refers to the design of websites, that are displayed on the internet.
Okay.
The design of the websites is known as the web design. It usually, refers to the user's experience aspects of website development. Uh, See, web design, it encompasses many different skills and disciplines, in the production and maintenance of websites. We have for different websites, we have different kinds of designs, layout. Okay, so the different areas of web designs, it includes web graphic designs. We have something called as user interface design, and then we have including standardized code, and we have softwares. So all these things comprises the uh, web design, elements of web designs. Okay, so we have someone called as the person who designs the website is known as a web designer. And web designers, what they do is they plan, they create and code internet sites and web pages, many of which they combine text with sounds, pictures, graphics, and video clips. And the web designer is responsible for creating the design and layout of a website or web pages. Okay, so a web designer, it means he can work on a brand, he can create a new website or update an already existing website. Okay, let me show you the design of a website. One second, let me open a website for you. You can open any website and okay. Are you able to see the screen, the website?
Oh, ma'am.
One second, I have to share the system audio, I think. One second. I'll be sharing a website. Please have a look and then I'll explain. Okay. Have you seen that website?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what were you able to see on the website, on the web page? What did you notice?
Some headings and
There were some images. graphics,
Yeah.
colors, different types of colors, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Different categories, there were different types of images, different types of colors, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So see, content and its presentation is the most important part of any website. It is
Okay.
what people visit, for, and hopefully they recommend. And website content can be, presented in many forms, and the most common and accessible being text and graphics. Okay, so we scan web pages looking for specific words or phrases. And then when an item is found that matches, we try to click that object to get related information. So a web designer, should ensure a clear visual hierarchy of each page by taking advantage of, conventions and breakup pages up to clearly defined areas. So every category is, where in the previous website which we have viewed of Infosys, right? All the different sectors were highlighted in different colors, different images were used. So this is, the designing of the website, the layout, colors, everything comes into the designing. Okay, so a registration of web. So how to create a website? So creation of a new website, it first we need to have a unique name. First we need to decide the name of the website. Okay, a unique name that no one else has registered, or owns. Then uniqueness can be, ensured by doing a name search at the domain name. We have few websites where, where we can search, if the domain name is already taken or not, if that domain name is available or not. Okay, and then it allows, entering of multiple names, and also shows possible extensions. There are few websites which, which can check whether the domain name is available. And if, if domain registration services, generally they charge annual fee to register a domain name. It is chargeable. If we register a domain, it's chargeable. And annually we have to keep uh, you know and there is a annual maintenance fees of this we websites domain name. And these domain names are generally registered for 1 to 10 years, or at a time, and the registration must be renewed after the expiry. As I said, it can be renewed annually. Every year we can renew the domain names. And then if a domain name is not renewed, then that domain, it becomes available for other. It will be expired, and it will be in the public domain. Others can make use and utilize that domain. It will no longer belong, to us. And for business websites, it is better to use, a .com extension. Pick a domain name from the .com, or if it's an educational website, it can have .edu. Okay, as the extension. And if it's a government website, it can have .gov. Okay, and if it's an international organization, it can have org as extensions, that are available. We can choose from all these domain extensions, okay, what we require. And then it's a good idea to also register, with all of these extensions to prevent anyone else from using them. Okay, and then someone, might use an extension with the same website name for undesirable activities, and send wrong signals for the people, who intend to use the website. And other extensions are registered for domain name after the completion of the host sign up process. See, we have this website known as godaddy.com. Okay, from that website we can go and register the domain name from these website, and you can also check whether the domain name is available or not. Okay, and some domain name extensions are country unique as well. And if unable to use this method to register a particular country unique domain name, then a browser search is made to find about an organization that registered the desired website. Because for example, we have some domain websites with domain extensions as .in, that means India, .uk, uh, right? That is known as country specific domain. So how to get a website domain name? As we have discussed early, all the websites have has a unique host or domain name, and for example, ap.gov.in. This is also a government website, and then before creating a website, one must decide a name for the website that nobody else has used and reserved earlier. Then we can decide on a suffix or an extension which is a part of the domain. That .in, .uk is the suffix extension. Okay. Then we have the most common extension, for all the common users is .com. Okay. And the unique name is combination of the basic name and the extension, that is called the URL. As yesterday we discussed about the uniform resource locator, the URL is the link. Okay. So it can be, if we have a unique URL, the URL can be owned by us if we register with the domain. Okay. And sometimes, a person or a company will register or purchase a basic name and multiple extensions to prevent someone else from using them. See, for example, if .com extension is registered, then it is a good idea to get registered for the .net and .org extensions for domain name, to prevent someone from using them as their website. Okay. And then when other extensions are registered, set that domain extension to automatically forward a viewer to that main extension. And if any of the other extensions are not available, be sure that websites using the other extensions are not something objectionable, or as something might go them, they want to visit or not. So we should be very careful before selecting the domain name. Okay. And many countries, as I said you, many countries have unique extensions that and can get website registered with the country. For example, .ca for Canada, .uk for UK, United Kingdom, .de for Germany, .jp for Japan, and .in for India. Yeah. So these are country specific extensions. We can select whatever extension we need from these okay, domain names. So I'll tell you about how to select a hosting company. Okay. And how to choose a web host. We'll discuss this in the next class. What I want you to do is go to this website, www.godaddy.com. I'll mention here in the chat box.
Okay.
Whenever you're free, just do this. Okay. This is the website, godaddy.com. Visit this website. Okay.
Okay.
Search. Okay. Select a domain name. If you want to register a website, you can select anything. Okay. If you want to search for a health segment thing, you can search for fitness websites. What are the available websites? Select a search for a domain name if it's available or not. If the domain name is not available, check how can you uh, how can you access that list, and then check on godaddy.com and see the details. Select a file extension. Okay. You understood, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do this assignment. Then in the next class, we'll discuss in detail, how to host, how to select a hosting company, and then how to choose a web host, and how to design a website. All these things we'll be discussing in the next class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, any doubts in today's class?
You said you'll explain HMRL.
HTML, right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah. I'll just do that for you. See, HTML it stands for hypertext markup language, and it is it is a predominant markup language for web pages. It's a language. Okay.
Oh,
HTML is a language, and it provides a means to create structured documents by denoting structural semantics for text such as headings, paragraphs, and lists, and as well as for links, quotes, and other items as well. And it also HTML, it allows images and objects to be embedded, and it can be used to create interactive forms. Okay. HTML usually helps in the emerge the embed all forms of in a interactive forms like audio, video, text, graphics into one form, and it is written in the form of HTML elements. Okay, it consists of tags. Okay, tags, and surrounded by angle brackets within the web content, because as this is a language, it should, these elements should contain tags and angle brackets within the web page content, and it can include, or can load scripts in languages such as JavaScript, which affect the behavior of HTML processes like web browsers. And we have something called as cascading style sheets, okay, to define the appearance and layout of text and other material. Okay, and it was developed by in 1980 by physicist Tim Berners-Lee. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
nothing but HTML is a text and image formatting language used by web browsers, to dynamically format web pages. Okay. It is used to embed all the forms of, media, like all the forms of elements like text, audio, video, graphics into one form. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
It's nothing but a language. HTML is a language for the web pages. Okay, it is just
Yeah.
used for formatting. It's a formatting language, and it is used to format web pages with all these elements. Don't worry, I'll share these notes with the basic definitions and uses. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday we discussed about URL as well. Okay, URL is uniform resource locator. URL specifies where an identified resource is available, and the mechanism for retrieving it, like how to search with the URL is the link. Okay. Okay, this is all for today's class. Let me know if you have any doubts, then we'll meet in the next class next week. Okay, 3 p.m. and please do this assignment and let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, then see you next week.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Bye.